Imagine a time when the universe was not ruled by a single omnipotent deity, but instead a pantheon of gods, each governing a different aspect of life and nature. Welcome to the world of prehistoric African religions. In this ancient world, the divine wasn't a lofty concept confined to temples or whispered in hushed, reverent tones. Instead, it was a vibrant, dynamic force that permeated every aspect of daily life. Picture a morning where you don't just greet the sun, you greet the sun god. Imagine a rainstorm not as a simple meteorological event, but as the sky god weeping. Every rustle in the trees, every surge of the river, every crackle of fire, all were seen as the voices of the gods, speaking directly to their people. This pantheon of gods, each with their distinct personalities and responsibilities, represented the diverse aspects of nature and human existence. There was a god for the sun, a goddess for the earth, a deity for the moon, and so forth. Each deity was not just a symbol, but an active participant in the world. They had their own stories, their own relationships, their own conflicts and resolutions. They were as complex and multifaceted as the people who worshipped them. And what a worship it was. It wasn't a solemn, somber affair. It was a celebration, a festival, a party. The people danced, sang, and made merry, not to appease some distant, wrathful deity, but to communicate with their divine friends, to share their joys, their sorrows, their hopes, and their fears. In this world, the divine was not an abstract concept, but a tangible reality. The gods were not distant beings to be feared, but familiar figures to be loved, respected, and sometimes even argued with. They were part of the family, part of the community, part of the very fabric of life itself. In the prehistoric African cosmos, the divine was not distant or detached, but an intimate part of the daily struggle for survival. Life in prehistoric Africa was a dance of rituals, ceremonies that connected the living with the divine and the present with the ancestors. Immerse yourself in the rich spiritual tapestry of prehistoric African religions, where each ritual was a conduit to the gods and ancestors. These practices were not mere routines, they were the lifeblood of these societies, interweaving the physical and spiritual realms in a dance of harmony and respect. Imagine a community gathered under the vast African sky, the air heavy with anticipation as the ritual begins. The rhythm of the drums echoes the heartbeat of the earth, and the dancers move as one with the pulsating energy. This dance is not just an act of celebration, but a sacred dialogue, a way to communicate with the divine. And then there are the offerings, gifts to the gods and ancestors. These could be as simple as a handful of grains, or as significant as a ceremonial artifact. But they all carried the same intent: to show gratitude, to seek blessings, and to maintain the delicate balance between the human and spiritual realms. Another crucial aspect of these rituals was the role of the spiritual leaders. These individuals, often revered as shamans or priests, served as intermediaries between the community and the divine. They were the caretakers of the sacred knowledge, responsible for guiding the rituals and interpreting the will of the gods and ancestors. Each ritual, each ceremony, was a testament to the community's unity and shared belief in the divine. They were not just acts of faith, they were a way of life, a way to understand the world around them and their place in it. These rituals provided a sense of belonging, a framework of values and norms that helped them navigate the uncertainties of life. Through these sacred rituals, prehistoric Africans found strength, guidance, and a sense of belonging in a world full of uncertainties. So as we delve deeper into the rich tapestry of prehistoric African religions, let's remember the power and significance of these sacred rituals and the profound impact they had on these societies. In prehistoric African belief systems, death was not the end, but a transition to another form of existence. A notion that may seem foreign to many of us today, but was a cornerstone of life and spirituality in ancient Africa. In a world where ancestors were revered as much as gods, the boundary between life and death was a mere veil, permeable and fluid. The ancestors, often referred to as the living dead, held a unique and paramount place in the spiritual and social fabric of these societies. They were the custodians of wisdom and the arbiters of justice. Their guidance was sought in times of crisis, their blessings invoked at the commencement of new ventures, their wrath feared, and their benevolence cherished. The living dead, they were called, not because they were zombies or specters, but because they continued to exist, to impact, to guide, and to influence the lives of their descendants, long after their physical demise. They were a bridge, connecting the tangible world of the living with the profound mysteries of the spiritual realm. The reverence for ancestors was not a practice born out of fear, but rather a recognition of the cyclical nature of existence. Life, death, and rebirth, an endless dance of creation and dissolution. The ancestors were not distant, unapproachable deities, but rather familiar spirits who had once walked the same paths, faced similar challenges, and now, from the spirit realm, continued to watch over their kin. Consulting the ancestors, seeking their wisdom and their blessings, was a common practice. It was done through rituals, through dreams, and through the interpretation of omens. It was a dialogue, a conversation, a connection that transcended the limitations of time and space. The ancestors, the living dead, were a testament to the African belief in the continuity of life, the interconnectedness of all beings, and the cyclical nature of existence. They were the embodiment of wisdom, experience, and the collective memory of the tribe. In the prehistoric African worldview, the ancestors were the living dead, their wisdom and experience continuing to guide their descendants from beyond the grave. In the prehistoric African landscape, every mountain, river, and tree was a divine manifestation, a sacred symbol of the god's presence. Imagine a world where everything around you holds a spiritual significance, where the rustling of leaves is not just wind but the whispers of ancestral spirits, where the river's flow is not merely water, but the life-giving essence of a deity. This was the reality of our ancestors in prehistoric Africa, where nature was not merely seen, but also deeply felt. In this ancient belief system, every element of nature was revered as a divine entity. The towering mountains were seen as the dwelling places of gods, the mighty rivers as the veins of Mother Earth, carrying life to her children. The vast savannas were not just landscapes, but the canvas upon which the gods painted the story of existence. The trees were not just providers of shade and fruit, but the living, breathing embodiments of the gods themselves. This profound reverence for nature was not born out of fear or superstition, but out of a deep understanding and respect for the interconnectedness of all life forms. The prehistoric Africans believed that we are all part of a divine web of life, woven by the gods, and every strand, every organism, every element is a crucial part of this sacred tapestry. They saw the divine not as an external, distant entity, but as an omnipresent force that permeates all things. Every sunrise was a divine blessing, every raindrop a sacred gift, every breeze a celestial whisper. This belief fostered a profound sense of gratitude and respect for the natural world, a sentiment that was deeply embedded in their everyday life and rituals. This worldview stands in stark contrast to our modern approach to nature, which often views it as a resource to be exploited rather than a sacred entity to be revered. Perhaps there is wisdom to be gleaned from our ancestors, a reminder that we are not separate from nature, but a part of it. In the prehistoric African ethos, nature was not a resource to be exploited, but a divine gift to be revered and protected. Though millennia have passed, the spiritual wisdom of our prehistoric African ancestors continues to resonate in the hearts and minds of millions. These ancient belief systems, rooted in a profound respect for the natural world and the invisible forces that shape our lives, have left an indelible mark on the human spirit. The legacy of prehistoric African religions is not confined to history books or archaeological sites. It is alive and well, pulsating in the rhythm of our everyday existence, whispering in the wind, singing in the rain, and dancing in the flame. It is the undercurrent of our collective consciousness, the subtle whisper that reminds us of our interconnectedness with all life forms. These ancient religions emphasize the importance of community, of living in harmony with others and the world around us. They taught us that every action has a spiritual dimension, that our deeds ripple through the cosmos, affecting not just ourselves but the entire web of existence. This wisdom, though ancient, is more relevant than ever in our increasingly interconnected and interdependent world. The spiritual practices and rituals of prehistoric African religions have also influenced many contemporary belief systems. Concepts such as ancestor veneration, spirit possession, and divine intervention, once considered esoteric, have found their way into mainstream consciousness. They serve as a reminder that there is more to life than what meets the eye, that we are part of a grand cosmic drama whose plot is far more intricate and fascinating than we could ever imagine. Moreover, the moral and ethical values embodied in these ancient religions, such as respect for elders, honesty, courage, and compassion, continue to guide us in our personal and communal endeavors. They remind us that true greatness lies not in power or wealth, but in character and virtue. In conclusion, the legacy of prehistoric African religions is a rich tapestry of wisdom and insight that continues to inspire and guide us. It is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit, to our ability to seek meaning and purpose in the face of life's mysteries and challenges. Though the world has changed in unimaginable ways, the spiritual wisdom of our prehistoric African ancestors remains a guiding light, illuminating our path through the complexities of modern life.